Unscripted.
From the heart.
From the heart.
From the heart.
Real
Real
talk.
talk. Real talk.
Real talk. Hi. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for everything that you have done for us. This is our second episode of From the Heart. We love what we've seen on Facebook. People loved the podcast, and we still need more of you showing more love on YouTube. Hi, thank you very much. Welcome back. Welcome to the second episode of From the Heart, the real talk. Today I want to talk about something very important. I was born in 80s. In 80s, life was better, life was good, life was much better than what it is today. Yes, arguably so. Some people might say, no, that's not true. I just want to talk about something very important. I know for a fact that my mother loved me. My mom tells me that on the day, she told me that on the day I was going to be born, it was around 9 o'clock in the night. She feels the pains, labor pains. The car was organized for her to be taken to the hospital. The hospital is about 16 kilometers from where I stay. Then she was taken by my uncle to the hospital. 10 kilometers away from 5 kilometers from home, 10 to 12 kilometers to the hospital. The car stopped working. The car stopped. For no reason, the car didn't want to go. My mother says she told me that, but that time there was a lot of pains, labor pains that she was going through. She was going through the most difficult time of her life, as most mothers would do. And then the driver was trying all that he could just to make sure that the vehicle start going, but nothing happened. When he was trying all this, my mother was suffering a lot. I remember in 80s, there were no cell phones. There were no communications, as maybe if there were there were phones, and she would, or the driver would call somebody to come and help. But that time, no cell phones. It was hard. 5 hours, my mother suffering there, being beaten, being eaten up, being destroyed by the pains, labor pains. And the van didn't want to go. After 5 hours, then the car starts functioning. Then they drove to the hospital. When she got to the hospital, pains were gone. Just like when you have a toothache and you go to the hospital, you don't even know which now, because all the pain that you were going through is subsided and nothing is happening. Then you don't even know which teeth is the one that was painful. My mother tells me that when she got there, the nurses started mocking her, saying horrible words, horrible things about her faking the pregnancy. Other mothers would come and go straight to the labor ward, give the birth, go back home. And my mother was nothing. And she told me that as the nurses were about to chase her back home, then the pain started again. She was taken to the labor ward. I was born. As I was born, it was a jovial moment, the most happy moment for any mother, for that matter, who has got a child. That is the most important time or day of any mother. My mother told me that I didn't cry on the day I was born. She told me that no cry. I didn't have the first cry like any other child. Doctors, nurses, everyone tried all they could to make me cry, but I couldn't cry. Until my mother was discharged, and she's carrying me, going back home on the taxi back home. When she got home, she's stressed. She's going through difficult times, worry. After those pains of labor, now the child is not responding. I'm just quiet. 3 days later, my mother meets somebody who says there is a lady somewhere about seven kilometers from where we stay. My mother took me there. The lady was a prophet or something, I don't know. And my mother takes me there. When she gets there, the woman did all that she could. Then I cried. After 3 days, I cried the cry, the scream that I was supposed to have done on the first day I was born. My mother was happy. She carried me home. I was a very troublesome young boy, as from the day I was born. I was sick all the time. I had asthma, and it was so terrible. And I was in and out of the hospital, and my mother was always there for me. My mother's love was huge for me. As I was growing as a young boy, for some reason, I was dark, pitch black. My eyes were red. I didn't look the way I look now when I was young. And I was mocked, laughed at. And people used to call me horrible names that destroyed and took away my confidence. But my mother stood by me. Her love for me never changed. I remember my mother also told me that there was a lady who came home one day to come and see me as a young boy. It's a normal thing, you know, when a newborn is there, people around the community, they come to see a child. This woman comes, and she said to my mother, just wrap this child in waste food, and just wrap her with anything horrible, rotten, and throw this boy into the pigsty. Pigs will eat him. Pigs will just eat him. He is ugly. He is horrible. My mother endured horrible words because of me. It was not my choice. It was not my mom's choice that I was born that dark and that ugly. I don't know what was happening. I grew up without any confidence because people would mock me. At school, I was mocked. In the community, I was mocked. My confidence was very low. And I found love from my mother and my brothers and my sister and my father. My family loved me. The community and people around me made mockery out of me. It was not a nice time. And now I developed resentment and defensive mechanism. I was an angry boy, very short-tempered. I still have short temper up to this day, but it is not as bad as it was when I was young. My mother endured the pain because of me. If this hurt me when I was young, because when I was young, very young, I couldn't hear. Maybe when I was 1-2 years, maybe it didn't make any sense. But as I grow older and hear people mocking me, laughing at me, it was hard. then how much more was it to my mother? It was very hard. It was not my mother's choice that I was born the way I was born. It was not my choice either to be born the way I was. People used to mock me so bad. I remember as I was growing up in school, I was a very shy boy, very shy. And everywhere I was just quiet. And because I knew that people would mock me, anything that I would say or talk, people would make fun of me because of the way I looked. People used to call me horrible names, terrible names. That is why even to this day, I detest, I hate with passion anyone, any man, woman, or anyone else who would say horrible things to a child, things that will destroy the confidence of a child. I hate that. And if you're close to me and you do that, I'll confront you and I'll tell you that whatever you're saying or doing, it's not good. Because I grew up very shy, very alone, reclusive. And my mother knew that every time when I come from school and I come home, when I'm down, she would make me happy. She would tell me that I love you. Don't worry what people are saying. You're handsome, my son. I love you. Don't care about what people are saying. I was young. I didn't understand by the time when she was saying that because of the pain. And I grew up hating, with this lot of anger and hatred. And as I got older and started, at the age of 12, that's when one starts, chasing after girls and all that. I wouldn't even do that simply because I knew I was ugly. I was told that I was ugly. Everyone was mocking me each day and night. And there would be times when I ran after girls, like us with boys and we chase girls. They would literally run away laughing at me like I was something which was not a human being. And that was the most difficult time of my life. But my mother loved me beyond anything. I knew that from school I would go home and just stay at home or play with my cousins, play with people, my friends who understand me and who loved me regardless of what people are saying. Even in school, there were teachers who were mocking me, saying horrible things about me, to me. And mostly at that time, as I said, I had the darkest skin. I don't know what happened. The darkest skin of my life, and I even had the red eyes. I don't know what was happening, and people would call me names. Bruh, it was hard. I remember one day, another person came home, and she was saying horrible things to me about how I look. And my mother was pissed, and my mother that day was angry. And she confronted the lady and said, if you know the factory where people choose how they look, the features of their face, tell me, show me that factory so that I can go there and pick the best features for my son so that you can stop, or all of you can stop mocking my son. I remember that day. I walked out with tears. I came back. My mother said, "You're a handsome boy. And God loved you. And when God loves you, and you have a purpose in this life, stop fearing or stop listening to what people are saying. You are good. You are handsome. I love you. What is important is my love for you. Stop listening to what people are saying." And then when I was in primary, I started opening up. As a young child, you start opening up and accepting who you are, and having that defensive mechanism where you say whatever. Then I was a very good dancer, and I know every time I would dance, the whole community, the whole school would circle me around, clap hands, give me 1 cent, and I was dancing. That was the only way that I opened from or broke the shell from being that shy boy who knew he was ugly to being a bubbly young boy who now people love, and people would call him and say, "Come, dance for us." And that dancing, the talent of dancing, took me out of the pain that I had. My mom was proud of me. My father was proud of me. They loved me beyond anything. And when I was 16, 17, somewhere there, something happened on my skin. My skin peeled off. I was sick, and the skin peeled off like a snake when it takes off the baby skin and developing the skin of an adult. Something like that happened to me. That's when my skin changed. My eyes stopped being red. And people started looking at me in a different way and with a different light. My love for my mother was better, and I was so in love with my mother more than anyone because of the pain that I experienced and that which she helped me to penetrate through to being the man that I am today. My mother loved me. I don't have a doubt, not even a single doubt. Our mothers, our parents loves us, most especially our mothers. Your mom loves you. There's so many horrible things that mothers go through because of us as young people. But because of the love they have for us, they don't change and they don't let go. They don't give up on us. They still are the same, in all situations. I miss my mother. I wish my mother was here just to show her how much I love her. During the time when I was mocked, ridiculed, rejected, called in names, and being called ugly, big-eyed, so many horrible names that were thrown at me. My mom was my courage. My mother was always there for me and saying, "Boy, you are handsome. Stop listening to these people. They're lying." I would take a mirror and look at myself, and I would literally see myself as an ugly boy. As an ugly boy. And I grew up with that thing in my heart, and I believed that I was ugly. And that never stopped revolving in my head in each and every day. So now, young men, young people, old people, whoever, be very careful what you say to a young child. Because whatever you do and whatever you say and whatever you impose on them, pin on them, will be something which will work either to build them up or be against them. Always say positive things, good things to children. Never, no matter what, do not ever say things that would kill the confidence of a child because you look at them in a different perspective, in a different angle. Maybe they are not as beautiful as they are, as you want them to be. Maybe they are not as slim as you want them to be. Maybe they are too slim, but it's none of your business to always say horrible things to children. that kills the confidence of a child. That develops anger, resentment, short temper of a child. And you destroying the confidence. And a child will never do well at school, will never do well wherever they go, simply because of all the horrible things that you're saying to this child. Please, good people, love your children. I know you love your children. Young people, there are young people who think their parents, their fathers, and most especially their mothers, don't love you. There's no way. Your mother will never carry you 9 months in her life, live her life in a very difficult condition where you are in her body and her body changes. Everything changes about her. Then after you are born, now they don't love you. It's just a myth. It's just not okay. My mother loved me. I want you as a young child to understand that your parents love you. Your mother loves you. If you have a child, your mother who's still alive, love your mother because your mother loves you. Your mother wants the best for you. Your mother goes through horrible things just because of you. Just like I said, I would be ridiculed so much, be called a name in so much ways. But my mother was always my courage, and she never stopped loving me. I miss my mother, and I love my mother. You must love your parent. You must love your mom. I will love my mother until I die. I'll respect and I'll talk about her until I die, because I have seen the love, I have seen the respect, I have seen the protection, I have seen the guidance, I have seen the provision that my mother did for us. So please, be careful what you say to young people or to young children. Don't say horrible things that will kill those children. I was born different. Not only that I was born differently. There are other people who didn't cry on the first day. I'm not the first one. But my mother, probably some of the things that she experienced when the day I was born made her believe that I was a special boy. So, thank you very much for your ears. Thank you very much. I really want to give this opportunity to the Lord Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and to say to him, thank you for the breath that I have. Next week, we will be back. This is From the Heart, the real talk. Thank you very much. May the good God be with you. May the good God bless you and protect you and be with you all the time, because God is good and your parents love you. Mothers, thank you very much. I salute you. Real talk.